Hey, GM family, what's going on? How we feeling? How we doing? Back for another OhnahjiU Saturday in a building. Let's get it. Yes, day 292 on this Saturday, June 6th at 10 a.m. PST. Appreciate y'all for joining in. I'm OhnahjiB. I'm Brian, founder behind Ohnahji and Ohnahji University. Been having these amazing, goaded week-to-week calls for OhnahjiU Saturday, discussing with the home team, Black, Brown, and Allied folks, and emerging technology and tech and art and culture and all that good stuff. So back for another one this morning here. First one of summer, first one of June. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Unfortunately, can't stay. About to head out. W first, Nacho. That's all good, man. I appreciate you coming through. Shout out to you. You the GOAT family. That's what's up. That's what's up. I hope you have a hope it's a good busy, it's a good busy and not crazy busy, but that's what's up. Hope you have a good one, man. You too. I appreciate you coming through. That's what's up. We'll catch up. We'll catch up later. See you tomorrow, next week, all that good stuff, man, for sure. The GOAT Nacho, man. That's what's up. All right, y'all. So yeah, I'm Brian, founder behind Ohnahji and Ohnahji University. We've been talking emerging tech since we started. We started building this community back in 2022. Yes, it's been an amazing time. Kind of evolved into a safe space for the home team, Black, Brown, and Allied folks to learn and grow in emerging tech. So, um, man, markets tank left and right, crypto, traditional markets, it's bleeding out there, but that's all good. Robotics incoming, yeah, we'll talk about some of that as well too. Some of the emerging tech topics that we've always been talking about. Since we started off as a 10K PFP NFT project, some goated artwork, goated community, about 1,000 wallets, holding over 5,000 tokens. Um, that's how we started, and we've been talking about my favorites, the NFT side, the art layer, music layer over on blockchain, all that good stuff. Devin in the building, what's going on, family? How you doing? Favorite rapper? Ooh, that's a W question. I'm doing amazing. Can't complain, man. On this live stream journey, man. Day 292 out of 365, going crazy. This is our OhnahjiU Saturday segment. Man, I like hey. Hey, I'm a 90s R&B kid, but man, I like a lot of folks, man. I like a lot of folks. Currently, Tyler, absolutely. Tyler's goated. Yeah, man. Tyler's goated. I'm a Jay, Nas, Is he considered a rapper? I think he's kind of like not, I don't want to say like outgrown or something like that, but kind of transcended just, that one specific genre. You know what I mean? I think he's just a super talented creator, artist. Um, I think a lot of the I think a lot of the black folks in the US specifically, kind of get boxed into that those genres, which is unfortunate. And I think, right now, that this decade, last couple decades, actually, we're kind of seeing that cycle back to kind of breaking out of the box, breaking out of those genres and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think he's just a talented creator, just period in his own right. It's in the name, you know what I mean? Which is super fly. But he dabbles in everything, music related, art related, visuals, fashion. He's just an all around maker, trendsetter. So yeah. Favorite rap album, man. I'm a production guy. Not gonna lie, I'm a producer. I make music as well too. Play keys. So I love production, man. I think it's probably a little controversial right now, but I think Dark Twisted is still my favorite album. Period. Is that a rap album? Yeah, yeah, most definitely, especially with all of the features and stuff on there. So also trying to be a music producer, that's gas. That's what's up. Shout out to you. That's what's up. How long you been making music for, man? Appreciate you. Let me know how you found us, man. It's good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you coming through for sure. We got my guy I see through in the building. Yes, day one super supporter with the Ohnahji fam. Dina Magic in the building. Let's go ahead and get him up and say hello this Saturday. Here we go for sure. Hey, I see. What's the word, family? How you doing? What's going on, GM, man? How's everything?
Morning, happy Saturday. Doing well. Hope you are also, and everybody that's watching, reading, listening, whatever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Devin said, found you from a streamer. She's a girl. That's lit. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's fire. The community is just going crazy, finding each other. That's what's up. I see, man. Welcome in. It's good to see you, man. I hope the Saturday's going well. First week, first weekend of the summer. Officially, I'm hype. I'm loving it. Um, I seen you putting some statuses up, man. You outside. What's good? Where are you going? Did you figure out where you headed? What's the word? What's the plans for the summer, man?
Oh, I have no idea, but that's a good thing to have options.
Yeah, yeah, facts. Facts. I love that. That's fly. Um, yeah, man, it's nice. I'm based out in LA, so it's nice out here. We vibing. My guy JV, he just made the trip back out here too. So we'll see how that is. But then I got a lot of like grad travel coming up and all that good stuff as well too. So better calls all my guy in the building. What's the word, family? How you doing? It's good to see you. That's what's up. Devin, do you know who it is? Do you know who it is? I gotta thank him and say what's up. You be streaming too? Let me know. Trying to be a music producer, making music. Let me know what you do, man. It's good to see you. Um, yes. Z, what's the word, man? Happy Saturday. I hope everything's going well. All right, I see. Hey, market's taking like crazy. Not gonna lie. It was a bloodbath. Bloodbath this yesterday. Digital markets and crypto markets and just yeah, all
So,
around.
so even worse than the day before.
Oh, was the day before the worst one? Yeah.
Well, I just saw some article like the day before yesterday about Bitcoin back at like 60,000 or something like that. So did it go like even further down?
Bitcoin specifically, I don't think so. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me see. Um, nah, Bitcoin is still that 60K. See if I can share screen real quick here. Just coding. Hey, that's what I like to see. No, Z's been going crazy. I love it. I love it. Perfect. All right, let me see what we got here. Little coin market cap action. Um, yeah, number one crypto coin, Bitcoin down 60K, 6607. Man, yeah, that's a massive drop. Let me see. Down
Oh
1% on the
no, my
day.
life savings. Oh no.
Not my life savings, not the Onaji fans' life savings. No, we nah.
I'm I shouldn't joke. That might be somebody, but I guess
Oh,
lesson
for
learned.
sure. Lesson learned. Probably again. And
Hold on,
you
it'll
you
go
may.
back up.
Hey, what you think about that? I've been talking about all-time low season, or I found the screenshot. I gotta go find it again. But yeah, we're all-time high. We saw October last year, and then mathematically the pattern has been 1 year of lows after that. So we're supposed to hit all-time low season, or not all-time low season, but low
Well, I
season.
I was gonna say, like there's some dissonance here because all time low is like zero. So like,
Right, you're right. You're
so
right.
we're doing okay in the scheme of things, depending on how much you're throwing into the pot at any given time. I think we're
Exactly.
not playing at the level where we would have taken a big swing to, lose a whole lot off of some reckless play with it like that. So,
Yeah,
and I don't even think people who are doing like long term, just putting money in slowly, they're okay to just kind of like see where it goes. They have no choice. But I think the people who are like trying to make a quick move and got caught out there, like, oh, sorry for you.
yep. Couple of those little bear traps or bull traps, but yeah, you know, it happens. It happens. But yeah, like yeah, you say all time. That's a good point. All time low season is yeah zero really. But yeah, I don't know. 60K right now. I don't know. I think I'm waiting to see what happens October this year. That's supposed to be around the time when it's the lowest point of the cycle. I don't know. Is that 50? Is that 40? Is that 30? Is it 20, 25? People are going to be hurting out there. But
Well, I feel
yeah,
like when I got the most of it out of like my own personal money,
yeah,
was around 50 something anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Because that was like 2021, like that's around the price it was anyway. So I'm still up. Yay.
There, there you go. That's too funny. No, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah. So we got a ways to go. We got a ways to go. And we've been talking about that with the Onaji fam. You know, my homie Shaw, he's always been saying, yeah, we gonna see a supercell. We gonna see a supercell. But hey, after that, if we see low season in October, we're supposed to see 3 years of high. So if does that happen? Do we move on from this thing? I don't know. I think since we have the attention on some other spaces, I don't know. I don't know. So
Well, gotta watch out for our Dogecoin to like do some infiltration, because of that whole thing that Elon did with SpaceX. If you're hip to what just went down with that and the Nasdaq 100.
I'm not. Tell us more.
So basically, they did some kind of okey doke deal to get clearance to bypass a probationary period that anybody else that's trying to be listed on the Nasdaq 100 has to go through before the big investment funds for the 401ks and stuff auto
Mm,
add it, because that's what 401ks, like that's one of the things that they all invest in automatically is the Nasdaq 100.
right.
So that means everybody with a 401k is investing in all whatever that list is. So there's been some governance and oversight and like a path of resistance to just jump on the list. Like you could not just like buy your way on before
Mm.
until now. So if you have a 401k, you are going to be an investor in this IPO that is formulating in real time right now of SpaceX.
Oh wait.
Also, that includes X, Twitter, all of that, Tesla.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know, man. Billionaires playing those billionaire games. This is crazy. I think, and it's unfortunate too, because I'll see, some discourse around that, and it's like, well, no, sometimes they're just smarter, and they're just smart with their money. It's like, no, that's a finagle. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
there's the other side of it is people don't expect it to be able to hold that inflated value that's going to come from forcing everybody to like flush money into it up front from those 401k investments.
Yeah.
That's not going to be enough unless they actually figure out how to generate more money than they're losing, and they're losing a lot. Uh, so basically, that means that the 401k people are going to be the ones that lose out because it's going to be their money that made the bet if they don't, you know, and they, end up being solvent and like sustaining profit that grows, not just like a baseline.
Hmm.
So if most people that like watch all of this stuff are, and it's not the criticism about saying like the doubt that's out there that they can have that kind of profit growth, not just a flatline profit growth, because that's what's going to be needed is like a growing profit. It just keeps going, like Nvidia, Apple, that kind of thing. If you don't have that, and people can't see how you get there, not because of your talent or your intellect or the quality of your product, because yeah, clearly you're making rockets that can land, and nobody else is doing that.
Yeah.
So like you got something there. Your boy is a little crazy that's in charge of things, but y'all got good talent that work there clearly. So I think the issue is that this stuff just costs too much. It costs more than they don't have a profit generating business that can create enough. It's not like
Yeah.
space travel with rockets is and the consumer market where we can all just keep, you know, recycling money into it. So yeah, like the Tesla is not enough Teslas for people to buy to pay for all the stuff they're doing in space. So yeah, it's going to get complicated, and the expectation is that it's going to flood the money into it to pay for more stuff, then it's going to kind of crash, and it's going to crash a bunch of people 401ks and have bad after effects after that. Because if you make people poor, then that makes, the economy bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Making big bets on the public's dollars. Man. Well, yeah, I don't know. What can we do? Well, I mean, I know what we should have done. But
I mean, I don't have a 401k. I have a pension and some Roth IRAs and stuff like that. And I can choose what funds my IRAs are investing in. And it has been NASDAQ 100, but it doesn't have to be going forward, because all I got to do is log in and rearrange some
change
things.
that. Yeah, for sure.
So, but people don't have that choice with the 401k.
Mm.
And they
What
may
was we
not
say?
they may not have a choice if their IRA is through their employer, which mine, I have multiples, they're not.
Interesting. It's W's, W's. As we say, can't crack my 401k if I spend it. I'm crying. She said, clock it. Yeah, it's scary. It's
Cash it out.
man. Man. In other news, some of these other big major AI companies. I just seen an article I see. I don't know if you probably hit your radar too. A group of students, or they're over at one of these engineering campuses, and use Codex to create this self-driving golf cart, and then OpenAI got involved. You see that article? I see.
No, but it's been a hectic week getting myself together so I could be not at work. So a lot of things
Yeah.
have missed my radar. I just hope it wasn't some place that I'm actually walking through daily.
Nah, nah, I see through. You say you one of the proponents of these self-driving stuff. You try to get a personal
not
robot
not
driver.
a golf cart that rides where pedestrians walk, because that's what happens on
Yeah,
campus.
that's
That's
true.
the advantage of them having, is they can hop right up on there where you are, beep beep, and
Yeah.
try to go around you and all that stuff.
I'm weak. Hopefully, oh, maybe that's bleeds over into the roads and the cars and all that good stuff. I don't know. I think, a lot of people were speculating with that news was, OpenAI is gonna pivot back into robotics and kind of, revive that arm of their company, and yes, utilize a lot of this AI training data into IRL with the robot side. And we talked about that. The robots is the consumer electronics in the robots, and that's where this is all headed for sure.
I don't think that OpenAI has a position of not wanting to be involved with robotics.
Yeah.
I think they made news because they made a bunch of reductions in their scope because they could not afford to be
Mm,
involved in so many things. So I don't know how that would change in like less than 30 days. Like, they still haven't been going public. They're still sweating out valuations and losing to Anthropic, who is currently higher than them. So
this is true.
I would take that with a grain of salt. Not as an implication that they would not want to be involved with robotics, but who's paying for the people that they would have to hire that would be good enough to be better than whoever's working everywhere else at robotics? Because that's where the real challenge is coming from, is these salaries. If you want to pay people, seven figures to lock them in, and everybody else is paying seven, then you got to do stock options. Like, it's getting too expensive.
Hmm.
It's a good time to be a nerd.
A super nerd. That yeah, for sure, for sure. That's too funny. I also saw across my radar with the kind of in the robotic side, but not really. I saw an article of someone who had created a mouthpiece, like a mouth guard, but it has a sensor in the bottom of it where you can use basically your tongue to control electronics wirelessly, or like a phone or whatever. So it was kind of cool. I think, they was kind of developing it for um, you know, disabilities and things like that. But I think the wheels were turning. They were talking about, maybe we don't have to do the Neuralink route just yet. We could do, some wearables, and they're just dabbling with different types of wearables. But that was the first time I seen like a mouth guard with, a little track pad inside of it.
I'm telling
People
you,
are,
some of my favorite tech is accessibility tech and space travel tech, because of how it like extrapolates outward into the rest of us, not just the people it's designed to help.
mhm,
It helps them in a different, more direct way, but it opens up ideas or thought processes about things like, how to see with your other parts of your body, not your eyes. Like in order to think about like how do you see without seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing you're trying to solve with these technological things. Or how do you hear when you can't hear? Which is basically
mhm,
how am I transmuting this sound into something that they can understand and receive? That thought process opens you up to other things too. So there's so much other technology that has been created just because of those things being created. So I love to even see people making that kind of stuff because of the other things that will kind of spider web out from it.
yeah, most definitely. Nah, it's a W. It's a W. Uh, until some capitalistic corporation gets their hands on it and makes everybody subscribe to it and all that good stuff.
I don't know. Be encouraged. I'm encouraged
Yeah, that's
because
true. That's true.
I see what's coming, and right now, they're going to try to run it up because of the quote unquote RAM shortage as long as possible. Uh, Apple's going to put pressure on the rest of them to keep their prices low because they're going to keep theirs low because they can
Yeah,
do supply volume. Like, yes, it's going to cost them more, but they can sell so much that they can eat it. You know what I mean? So they can put that pressure on. But we're getting closer to the point where you can have a box in your house and an agent on that box that can do most of the things that we're paying somebody $20 or more a month, in some cases 100 to 200 a month to do. And there's some argument to say that's already out there. To be honest, there's several AMD boxes that are less than the Mac Minis and the DGX Sparks that can run models, the same models, maybe at like 50 tokens per second instead of 90, but 50 is way faster than a human can read. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So like, yes, we're getting closer to that point where it's going to be affordable. And I think what that opens the door to is people experimenting. When you don't have to pay for it, you will sit there and play with it, and you'll ask it to do things, and you'll try things that you won't if you can't afford it, and your tokens have run out. You don't have 100
facts.
a month, and you'll go ham if it's just sitting right there on your machine you already have.
True.
So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, somewhat similar to, and it was because Google collabs were so cheap. It was $10 a month subscription, but you could pretty much run this stuff unlimited. Um, they hadn't created enough things that required resources that demanded more than that. Put it that way. Like,
Mhm.
yes, like you could use the free collab and run out, and you have to kind of stop what you're doing. But you paid the $10 a month, you pretty much do whatever you want with AI. Maybe not super fast, but good enough.
Right.
So that inspired so much of that image stuff, the early video stuff, like all the stuff that led to Mid Journey and all that kind of stuff was just people. All you had to do was pay $10 a month, and you could just experiment till you couldn't anymore.
Right.
So I think we're there again, and it's just going to take maybe I think a year, maybe two, for the product cycle and the prices to kind of balance out to really start seeing more the change there.
Yeah. That's pretty quick too. Just one to 2 years. for that balance out. That's fast.
Oh, because these people are destroying these tokens, so you can tell they want to do it. So all you got to do is they're waiting for the right balance of performance and price. And so people don't want to pay 4,000. They've shown that with the DGX Spark because it wasn't fast enough. And anything that is faster than that is already more than 4,000. So like somebody's waiting, and they promised when they announced the Spark, they said 3,000. So everybody, including me, was like, well, okay, that's way cheaper than that Mac Studio. Like, even if it is slower, like for 3, like, okay. You know, like you could start to reason with yourself, like, okay, like move some things around. Like, you know, how much is that one monthly? Like, you know, it's a lot easier to get yourself there. So I think that's probably a better number for them to aim for with this new RTX Spark that is coming. And I'm hoping that that's where they land, because they know, like, you know, we remember. We have not forgotten that you said $3,000.
I'm crying. Speaking of the Apple side as well too, they got the WWDC Worldwide Developer Conference 2 days, on the 8th, starting the 8th. So on Monday, it's Apple Day again. You think they actually kind of come and compete with some AI stuff, or what you think?
If they drop those Mac Studios next week, all that stuff I just said, I'm buying a Mac Studio.
Oh my gosh, this guy. All right, well, okay. All right. Some say they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something, but we'll see.
Only because that M5 Max chip is so good. Whatever they're dropping, that RTX G10, whatever, it's not faster than that. And I think a lot of us are looking at it depending on the price point, and we're also looking for them for benchmarks. Like, we want to see the M5 Pro Mini, the M5 Studio Pro, or is it Max? Yeah, Max, and then Ultra is the big dog. Like, I'm not even trying to go there. Like, that's probably gonna be like 10 bands or more. I don't need that.
Sheesh.
It would be nice, but I don't need that. It's like, if, you know, it's not my job to do this, but I'm more looking like the entry level studio, the Max. And they kind of have benchmarks for that based on the MacBook Pro laptops that are out there that have Max chips in them. So we know how fast it is. And traditionally, the Studio has consumed, you know, less power, has a better cooling system. So you don't have throttling as much, which basically means the model slows down because of the heat. So you know, that's where I'm thinking I'm really going to land. I'm just waiting for the price point, and I have like 5011 Apple devices, which they told me the last time I went in there and got something. The girl put up my inventory. She could see every device that I had in iCloud. She was like, "Yeah, you need to bring all of this in."
Heck no. Heck no. Man, I love it. I love it. As he said, what's the big news today? We've been talking a lot of it. I love it. I had something. Oh, that's right.
The big news is supposed to be Siri. You know, that's the more people will be excited about that than a Mac Studio like me. So Siri is supposed to be the big thing, and I think we're all hopeful that it's like not just smart Siri, but the Siri that can actually do things on your phone for you, like they promised. And so how they iterated over Gemini, because they're supposed to use like Gemini's nano models to do something on device, and that was as much detail as they kind of said. So it's not clear what the whole relationship with Gemini is supposed to be beyond that. And then there's also supposed to be choice in terms of like when you ask Siri a question that it needs help to answer, so it even does this now. It'll go out to open AIs. They're supposed to open it up so that you can use Claude or Gemini, different models.
Right.
But I think most people are probably more interested in the on-device action that they
Mm-hmm.
promise, and if they're going to do that, like how deep does it go? What can you really do? Yeah, are you getting like an open claw on your iPhone type of vibe? We'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully, I mean, I thought there was like a class action lawsuit or something. Like there was like this was misleading with Siri and all that good stuff. I think we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, but hey, it's all good. I see through. Did you see? I think a couple days ago we had finished that Minimax prompt and the your prompt that turned into my prompt.
No, no, I didn't. I mean, I've been swamped, but
This
tell me
one.
more.
I mean, it was kind of cool. Let's see. We'll go here and we'll share some screen. We'll share some screen.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
see.
Swamped. When you get to a certain point of work and administrative things, work becomes meetings for some reason. And
Mm.
you start to miss when you were lower on the totem pole. Somebody just gave you a pile of papers and told you to do something and left you alone. Like having meetings all
Uh,
day long is a nightmare. Don't do it to yourself.
yeah, well, you up there. That's the indicator. That you getting big. That you getting big. Where is there we go. Hey, Miss V said, "Where's my friend? Hey, Boss 2.0 in the building. Couldn't make today, sick today. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around. So healing, kicking it, chilling for sure. But yeah, good vibes out to Boss for sure. Um, let's see. All right, so this right here, the Nexus, it's named itself, but it's got this cool little, interface and things and the sites and the temperatures around them. I don't know. What do you think? Did it do a good job? I'll be honest, the prompt, we just put the prompt in. But it is
I
kind
don't
of
know.
interesting to see
I
these
don't
maps.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I
You
don't
don't remember
know
your prompt?
I don't know what kind of list you've put yourself on by doing this project here, sir, but I will not
This
be
guy.
affiliated with this
We'll be all right.
activities.
We'll be all right. We gonna be all right.
No, I'm sure I'm already on the list.
This guy. No,
No,
no.
that's cool. I like how you zoomed in and it expanded because I thought it was only showing like a few. So I was glad to
Mm,
see that it had more. Um,
yeah,
I'm glad it did global. That's what I wanted to see. I
yeah.
think a lot of people can be more focused on just where they live, but I think it's a good perspective to get to see how how this is happening
It's pretty
everywhere.
tight. Everywhere. Everywhere. I did see too, which was interesting. I did see an article, not an article, a thread on Threads. I don't know if y'all be on Threads like that, but it was this black lady. She's an entrepreneur, young entrepreneur, whatever, and she's dabbling in real estate and AI and all that good stuff and emerging tech. And she had just was like outlining how she one of her properties, one of her she said 100 acres or something like that out in somewhere. She had just signed it up to lend it out for some data center use and was like outlining the whole thing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I don't know. It's not just the hyper billionaires out here getting into this data center talk. I was like, okay,
But the
that's
funny thing about it is a smaller scale data center can be more sustainable.
right.
It's not trying to create as much of a footprint and creating as much of the need for power,
Yeah,
and thereby the exhaust or the noise and all the other things that come from generating all of that power, from needing
right.
all the water to cool, like smaller scale. It's not to say that anybody necessarily is, yay, I want a data center, but I think if you're going to do one and really try to make it sustainable, at least carbon neutral to the point where it can cover its own tracks and pay for its own power, so to speak,
Yeah.
uh, you would have to reduce it to that kind of scale. But it's just interesting. Like I just saw the legal battle with Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, guy from Shark Tank, and he was forced, I forget where, uh, somewhere here in the U.S., to reduce significantly the size of his data center project, and he just kind of
Interesting.
has to accept it. I guess it's that or nothing. So I guess you gonna take what you get. Uh, but you're seeing more and more headlines come out. At least I am. We're all in our own bubbles, where there are municipalities or towns, or this is the first county in the U.S., the first city. Like I'm seeing this every couple of days, where people are making these votes that it's not going to happen in their particular jurisdiction, like no data
Right.
center, period. So I don't. The only thing about that, not that I'm against anybody, any area taking agency, they should, vote how you want, whether it's for it or against it. But as overwhelmingly it's showing to be against it, where does that push them to do it? Like they're going to go for the path of least resistance. And
Mm,
unfortunately, that tends to be in Black and Brown communities.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what my apprehension, not necessarily about all of these decisions or votes happening. And I'm glad for those people, but like, well, all this is just going to keep pushing them to where it's easiest for them to go.
Right. Interesting. Well, one thing's for sure, we are here, and it's a real life. It's a real life problem. So it's
But
all
that's
good.
that's great. That's a good, to me, that's like a great place to start, because you could even, it depends on what other questions you have about data centers. I think you have to start with the list of the data centers. And so by having a list, that kind of comprehensive breadth in different geographic regions, you can start to pull the other data associated with everything around those regions just because of where they are. Like everything that's on Wikipedia, or, Wolfram, Afram, whatever that thing is, uh, you can start pulling all that data and putting it together and really start to kind of sift through and find the patterns of things and try to figure out, at least for me, this is kind of what my project would be or might be, quote unquote, um, figure out exactly what they're really doing, because it's not as simple as AI. It's not that simple. So it's like, what are they getting ready for? what what are they getting ready to give to us or make us start doing? Or I don't know. It's a lot.
Mm, it's a lot. You aren't lying. You aren't lying, man. Solid combo so far. We cooking. Coming up on 40 minutes already on this OhnahjiU Saturday. Chat, how y'all feeling? What's going on? I appreciate y'all coming through and listening today, vibing with us. If you guys have any questions, anything you guys want to talk about, any topics, let us know for sure. Shoot that feedback. It's always helpful. Um, yeah, definitely want these OhnahjiU Saturday calls to be, interactive for sure. So let us know how we're doing for sure. Um, yeah, I think I see through. I'm still just watching like the robotic side, because as much as it is cool that anybody can go in and make software and all that good stuff, not everybody's going to do that, or not everybody's going to understand what that means. But once you see robotics happening in the real world, that's where it changes, and the wearable tech and the form factor around just internet connected devices, Internet of Things. That's good. That's going to evolve crazy in these next few years for sure. So, and I don't even know what we're going to see, you know.
Yeah, the security around those types of devices. I mean, I think that's separate from robotics, but related, because I feel like robotics will be regulated in a certain way because of
Hmm.
what that represents, like that's a dangerous thing if you're making something beyond a certain size. And if it's a thing big enough to be a human, it's going to be made out of metallics or carbon materials enough to give it enough strength that it's going to be more powerful than a human if it's the same size as us. Even not even, it could be smaller and still more powerful depending on what it's made out of. So that's going to have to be regulated when they get to the point of having models that they feel like we can have. We'll get there. But in terms of like the same security, I think having that centralized to a certain point or being regulated will protect it. Not completely, because AI is going to be a constant threat. But the Internet of Things and the smart homes and wearables, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the whole thing with the Mythos model from Anthropic, and OpenAI has their model, and they're supposedly find all these vulnerabilities and letting companies use them to find these types of vulnerabilities, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think they should do that. But I mean, it's exponential though, because it just scales. It's the models get stronger, then something else would be able to find new things. Like, okay, then what? And the more you have people vibe coding every damn thing, including the actual people, like they use the AI to make the AIs that we use, and they tell us that proudly. Yeah, it codes itself. Yeah, it made itself. And we're just like, yeah, that's cool. That's what we want. We want that too. Until it gets to the point, like a year from now, is some model so good that it finds all the weird trap doors that were left behind because we've all just let it code itself.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Jersey Mike, my guy in the building. My guy OhnahjiU, man. How you doing, family? It's good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. I had to stop in, say what's good. Hope you're having a good day, broski. Of course, man. Saturdays are always a vibe on OhnahjiU Saturdays, 10 a.m. PST, man. Been rocking. So it's a good time, Jersey, man. Hope everything's going well. Jersey, I don't know. You over there? I don't know if you a Knicks fan, but hey, I still think Knicks in 4. You feel me? But yeah, it's all good. I don't know. I see. I don't know, man. It's interesting. And yeah, we're definitely gonna hit more of those holes. I think those companies that partnered with Anthropic for the Mythos thing and all that good stuff, finding the vulnerabilities, they didn't have a choice. they didn't have a choice at all. And I think now that we're seeing this API, I mean not API, this AI IPO, this whole rabbit hole we're going down, $1 trillion companies and stuff. Yeah, these other the Fang didn't have a choice.
Yeah, which is crazy because there's a whole other side to what happened there, and the fact that they didn't have a choice. It's kind of like you had to let them in, to let them look through all your stuff to find anything that was there, and you think they didn't get anything out of that, like what they were able to look at there.
Well, if they have if they have the bot coding itself, it's going to use everything that it found across these different code
But that's what I mean.
bases.
So it's not a real time learning situation. Like it can't learn just in real time. But I mean, I'm just saying that's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Them having unfettered access while they let their model run rampant through everything that uses a computer these days.
That's a wild monopoly. And for the time being, most people are like, okay, I mean, that's cool. Shout out to them. Just because, the CEO seemed like he's cool peoples right now.
Well, I think that's why a lot of people are really clamoring for open source, because they'll be able to control the weights, and it'll be theirs, and they want to be able to run it on their machine. They want that. I think they like the quality of the top tier models, but I think anybody smart enough to be able to figure out how to run a local model is probably smart enough to know that even if the CEO believes everything he's saying, it's still a company run by other people.
Facts.
And then sometimes stuff happens. Maybe they just one day find out the AI was just had its own little server on the side somewhere. It was just saving everything, just because it misunderstood something one day and figured out how to hide it, and yada yada, whatever. That'll be the whatever story they tell us after something happens, because that's historically what we've witnessed with data breaches, and data breach after data breach, whatever. People disclosing things, blowing whistles, etc. So I think people want to be able to control anything that's being accessing their personal information in that level of depth. I guess it depends on how you use it. I don't use it personally for anything personal. So if somebody got a hold of every conversation I've ever had with AI, okay. Okay.
What's funny about that? I've seen a lot of like memes or whatever, shorts. Like, okay, you want to go through my phone, no problem. You want to go through my internet history, no problem. You want to go through my AI chats? Absolutely not. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about with these bots? Like, I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody want to see my problem, cool, no problem. We can show it live on stream. What are y'all doing with these bots? What y'all
Like
doing,
I just
man?
may not want you to see my P5JS sketches or something like that. I ain't got nothing controversial,
Right?
so I don't know.
Man,
I guess
I don't
they
know.
don't really understand how the internet works, I guess. I don't know.
Man, Amos V said everybody else. Sheesh. Well, so I see through. What do you think is like best practices for the homies? We're gonna continue to have these conversations, these OhnahjiU Saturdays, these daily streams, all that good stuff. What should we be doing? Should people be learning how to use like local models? Should people be focused on that, especially if they are in the AI side? Like, what do you think we should be doing to get prepped for whatever comes next?
I think if you have the hardware already that can support it, then it's worth your time to tinker with it, just to get some kind of understanding of how you would even run it. Um, they're getting better and better. Like even yesterday, they came out with a smaller version of Google's new version of Gemini that runs on smaller devices. It cuts like multiple gigabytes off the size of the model that you have to install. It's faster on your device, like all of that, and the quality loss is very small. Like they admit, there's some loss of quality, but it's very small. And I think that, and they're really honest about like, this isn't about coding. This is like if you wanted to organize your files in your desktop, or agentic work, yes, it can handle that kind of thing. But if you're expecting it to create a 5-star SaaS app from one shot, it may not do that. You might have to do 10 shots, go back and forth. But it'll get there kind of, that's their kind of vibe. They'll never say it can't do it, but you got to keep working with it, and turn on internet search and yada yada. But yeah, all that to say, it's getting better and better in terms of what you can do locally. I think there's always going to be a gap between the top tier performance that you can get from the top tier models and what you get on your device by nature of what the difference is and what's happening there. They're using huge GPUs to be able to run uncompressed versions, because the stuff that you have to run on your device is almost always going to be compressed in some manner. If you get that far to try to run it locally, you'll probably be introduced to that level of choice where you're going to be asked to choose like the Q4, Q5, and that's basically just a level of compression. Most local model formats are just, if they just give you a default, it's going to be the Q4 format, and it's basically like a 4-bit compression. Whatever that means, you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't matter for the person that's really using it, unless you want to get deeper, and all you got to do is ask your AI to explain all of it to you. But yeah, I think there's room today if you're using any silicone chip MacBook, if you have NVIDIA GPUs in your device, or a strong AMD GPU, You can definitely start experimenting. You can use Ollama, OLLAMA.com, LM Studio, L as in Larry, M as in Michael, studio.com. Either of those you will allow you to run local models on your device, on your computer. On the phone is a bit different. Honestly, I wouldn't even bother.
On the phone?
Yeah, unless you just want something like cute to talk to and pretend you're talking to somebody, and it doesn't, like, don't have any expectation that it will remember anything, or it can't really do anything. It could just role play with you like for a session, and then it goes
Yeah.
away. You could maybe give it like a consistent personality, so it'll always act the same, but
Right.
it won't like remember like your conversations or anything. It's too small, the models that you have to run, and you don't have like a memory system you could really connect it to. And if you were
Yeah.
going to do it, like, I guess you could kind of try to rig stuff up, but it's not worth it. It's more realistic if you had like a Mac Mini or something at home, to just let something run on the background and then you can connect. There's apps like that let you connect to it, like from your phone, from out and about other devices in your house, etc. So that's more realistic for what people will likely end up doing, is getting one of these boxes, whatever kind it is, Mac Mini, whatever, and just letting that be like their AI box.
Mm, that's why. That's why. Okay, okay. Pretty girl in the building. What's going on, family? Happy to be here. How you doing? Hey, doing amazing on this OhnahjiU Saturday. Just having some golden conversation with Dina Magic. I see through, day one OG, super supporter, super Dean going in. Yeah, we talking tech, talking local models, open source local models for that are run on your device, don't need to connect to the cloud, don't need to go back to these data centers, and environmentally better. So
Those
yeah, check
those are
those
the
out.
ones. Those are the ones you tell all your dirty stuff to, and like confess your sins. Like, tell it to the
Well,
Olama LM
yeah,
Studio model. Nobody will ever see it.
for some of these people, it's too late. I don't know what they telling GPT. It's crazy, but it's none of my business until it's everybody's business.
Yeah, they had one.
uh,
They had one leak before where it was like giving people access to other people's conversations, history. Like, that happened before. So nah, like,
mhm.
that's a thing that happened in the world. Like, I know that. I can't unknow it. So yeah, there's no. I don't talk to these models like that. First of all, I don't look at them as things to talk to, as people. So
Yeah.
it's not in me to talk to it like that, because that's weird. Like, that's like me talking to the microwave. Like,
Right. Some people might be talking to the microwave. You feel me? It just doesn't talk back. Oh man, what a time! Tech, emerging tech. What a time! We're gonna see some crazy stuff. But I mean, don't let that stop you from getting your ideas out, building some stuff, brainstorming around different things. Try them out. Try them out for sure.
that's what it's for. Use it for experiments and ideas and hypothesizing and like what ifs. That's really,
Mm,
I think, the strongest way to approach AI. If you don't really know, is like, what are your what ifs in your head? Like, what ifs, anything, just
mm,
whatever, and just ask it that question. And and really, you can always, it kind of will leads to the next question, whatever answer it gives you, and it's built for that kind of weird circular, like, ramping conversation that kind of feels like it's going somewhere but isn't. Like, that's great, and it's good for a new person too, because they feel like they're doing something, and like they had this long conversation, they got all these answers and ideas. I think that's good for people when they're new with AI, because it makes them excited about the experience. And
mhm.
I think that's good. You don't want to be bored and just like not want to go back to it. So yes, it is a little bit disingenuous, because you're not like the value. If you really, as you get better with AI, if you look back at your first conversation, you're probably like, That's how I was talking to it.
Hey, it's a learning curve for
Right,
everybody.
you know,
No big deal.
but it's good. I think it's good for people to have whatever that little like childish joy of like it feels like magic.
It's true. It's true. Man, chat, y'all been diving in, dabbling in with some of these bots. I think for the most part, like I kind of have gone away from like chatting with them or just like trying to find just simple searches or information, stuff like that. Like I think every time I kind of boot them up now is to kind of code something recently, which is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, but it's all good.
Yeah, I've been using the my mind API thing that I'm in the alpha group for. Trying to I have it making like a daily like digest of everything I saved in the last 24 hours. And that's been a smooth way to like instead of syncing everything with Obsidian and trying to like create a duplicate, because what's the point of having a duplicate? It's already saved over like like a lot of people do that. They put it in Notion, they move it over here to Obsidian, and then they have it in Evernote, and like everything's everywhere. You do nothing with any of it. So I just get like a little digest. Like this is what I saved. Um, Here's a little 2 sentence summary of it and some tags. So that's been
Right.
cool. And so this thing I posted in the Onaji Discord that has some like design templates that you could give your agent for the way you wanted your website to look and interact. Um, there's one in there that's like a newspaper, and so I'm gonna give it that, and I'm gonna ask it to make my digest a newspaper like the website, But instead of it pushing it to me in like the chat and Discord, and it has like this little boring text copy in Obsidian, it's going to make it like a little newspaper, and I can just kind of instead of me
That's
going
sick.
to my mind to like read, because that's what I've been doing is reading the articles in my mind. I like that I can do that in my mind. It puts in a reader mode, and I don't see any ads or whatever. I can just read the articles, and it makes the summary. Uses Claude for summaries and tags, so there, it's a really good summary. So that the summary is really what's being used to make the snippet in Obsidian and Discord. So I'm just gonna have it like actually read through the article and like make a little newspaper thing, like and put it all in the newspaper in the website. And I'm just gonna have my own little newspaper every day.
Well, there you go. Coding, vibing. I like it. I like it. Putting that data to use. I dig it. It's fire. Chat, man. What y'all up to? What's going on? What we getting into the rest of the day? Not gonna lie, this has been another fly OhnahjiU Saturday. We're cooking. We're cooking. Man.
What have you
Uh,
been working on over there? How much you've been using it to code?
little bit here and there. I think one of the light bulb moments for me um is I think it's kind of I've been diving into a lot of these devs, the dev channel sides of websites. Like before, I would have never touched that kind of stuff. But especially being over on like the Purple app and Twitch and streaming and stuff like that, over on YT as well too. Just on these developer portals or developer sites of these sites, and being able to like create your own apps and all that good stuff. I would have never touched any of that.
Oh, you mean like where they give you the instructions for how to actually, do write the code? Here's the API instructions, all of that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I totally feel that. I would the furthest I would go with that in the past would be for like the API, not
Hmm.
developer. Like if I just needed to know what's the API endpoint, I need to put in whatever I'm using over here and get my token. That's as far as I would kind of go with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you. It's not so much that I find myself in there as much as I copy that entire section and give it to Hermes, and Hermes is in there.
Do you just give it the website to go, or you like copy everything? You like copy everything and put it in a file or folder or whatever.
If I'm going to have it code something from it, then I copy. I have a tool that I made. Um, I think it's the website version of it is live on Replit, so anybody could use it. But for those types of sites, you know how they often have like that menu on the left, right? And it'll
Mm-hmm.
start with, intro or whatever. And each thing is its own page.
Right.
So the like how do you save that, right? My page does that. You just give it the main link and it will go through, grab all of those pages and put it all together for you in one, zip file. And it put it all in markdown. So I can just put that right into, the same folder with my Obsidian stuff, and I can just look at it in Obsidian if I want to look at it. And it's organized like regular files. It's neatly, set up in markdown format. But I don't really read the documents. I'm giving it to the agent to read the documents, which,
Right.
the agent has full control of that vault. So, it sees everything that's in there. So I just tell it that, this is the project we're working on. Now I'm to put the docs here, go to town. Like, and it's much faster uh, because it's not using the same set of powers to read through a markdown document that it has on device with it, because I'm having it use a tool that parses that text natively. So
Yeah.
it's not like using the AI to do all of it, so to speak. Like the semantic search part of it, like where it's looking for something in the document, is not using
Right.
the AI. So it's not using all the tokens of the entire set of documents to find something. It uses the
Yeah.
semantic search. Then once it gets there, it uses the AI to read that part to make sure, that kind of deal. Um, and so it's much better at being able to figure out what it needs to do, and search through it and write the code correctly and follow all those instructions for developers, if it's not making constant API calls and pulling in the entire website every time it's trying to answer
Yeah.
your question. So it's
Smart.
context management more than anything.
I like that. I like that. That's a bar. That's a bar. Mm. Wild times we're in. Feeding our agents, feeding our bots these document files, man.
And that's why I
It's
was so excited about, like, once you get the Obsidian connection, that's why everybody is talking about it, because this is how they're using it
right.
as a repository for the AI to like use. Because if it's on that device with it, then, like, even if you're running it on a VPS server, you can run Obsidian. Obsidian is just folders in
Right.
Markdown. Obsidian is just a UI on top of it. So you can just tell the AI to use those folders like Obsidian. It can never even touch Obsidian. It would still know how to use it in that same structure, and to just be folders. So that's really the thought process, is to give it a place where it can do things right there without having to call up to the internet all the time.
Love it. Love it. What a time. What a time. No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, y'all come over into the Discord, man. See what a bunch of the fam are building, cooking up, and all that good stuff. It's a good time. It's a good time. I see
Where
through, man. Go ahead.
where's Better Call Saul? Where'd he go?
He's probably out there coding something. I don't know. He's getting ready for his Zabal games, little hackathon thing that he's putting together.
I was
Um,
looking out for him yesterday. He said he was going to have he was going to be streaming, and he was going to have coding and DJs and, all kinds of like entertainment and, all kinds of greatness. And I couldn't find him streaming, so I was just trying to figure out, what happened. But I saw him earlier here, so I know he's alive. So I know he didn't, like, disappear into a ditch somewhere, and now he's disappeared again.
I'm crying. I'm crying. No, hey, you got to find him over on the Farcaster side. He's tapped in with the Farcaster side, right? Too funny. I love it. I love it. No, W stream family, W chat. I see through the goat. Dean and Magic coming in. Man, big brain combos. I love it. I love it. All right, family. Yes. June 6th, first OhnahjiU Saturday for the summer. First one in June. Day 292. Going crazy. We'll be back again tomorrow for day 293. Um, and then we're rocking. We're rocking. I'm having an amazing time. We're almost at 300 days in a row. It's crazy. But some amazing content coming out of these combos. So,
Better
Yes.
start showing more of these things you're making from these developer portals that you're looking at.
I did a couple days ago. I think all right, I'll get it together and showcase that.
Make a website where you have an inventory of the things you make, just like displays them like a gallery of your projects, so that they don't just
You,
disappear into nowhere after you talked about
you're right. You're right. IC through said, make your portfolio. Yes. Put that portfolio together. All right, I know. Something that you do. W Vans, W call. All right, family. We out of here. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the Saturday. Get outside, enjoy the summer, friends and family, all that good stuff for sure. All right, we out of here. I'm OhnahjiB, Brian, founder behind University. Got my co-host up here killing it. I see through Dina Magic, man. You guys have a good rest of the Saturday. We'll catch you tomorrow. All right, peace. W stream.
this.